Let's talk about energy vampires. You've probably heard that term before, and as much as we want to run away, sometimes we choose to stay in relationships with these people, and we need strategies for dealing with having our energy sucked. I'm Stacy Rocklein, and I'm on a mission to eradicate loneliness. And this is a very lonely feeling, being with someone who sucks your energy, because two things are happening. One, they are taking your energy and they're bringing it down, no matter where it was, instead of bringing it up, which we want in our relationships. And number two, part of the reason is that we don't have space in this relationship for us. They are taking it all. They're sucking it all out. And so we feel lonely because we don't feel seen and acknowledged in the relationship. But this might be someone that you don't want to just walk away from. This might be a family member or a partner or even just a friend who's having a moment in their life. It's not generally like who they are. It might be who they are. But you've decided, I want to stay in this relationship, and so I need strategies. And we're going to talk about what those strategies could be right now. So let's think about this in terms of what you can do before, what you can do during your time with them, and what you can do afterward. And then just pick something to try and see if it helps you. Before you go into an experience with this person, you can think about a few things. One, you can establish your own energy. Often we just kind of default walk into a room or a phone call or an interaction, and we are bombarded by someone else's energy because we didn't establish our own. We didn't decide, this is how I feel right now, this is how I want to feel right now, and take a few minutes to just check in with yourself before you walk into that situation. Because if you don't, you'll start to match them. They will just bring you down. But if you do, then you can stand solid in your own energy and they'll be less likely to bring you down. And do that whatever way you know works best for you, really grounding yourself in how you feel. Another thing that you can do is boundary the interaction. That can be a time boundary where you let them know, I have only 1 hour to hang out, talk, or whatever. I have an appointment that begins at 2:00. So let's see, it's 1:40 right now. We have 20 minutes. You can boundary it with physical interaction. Is it going to be a face-to-face, a phone call? Is it a text stream or text thread? What boundary do you need to make sure that you don't have to take on more than you want to handle? You know you're not going to be stuck in a 6-hour interaction with this person. Think about the boundaries beforehand and put them in place so everybody knows this is what we have available. Whether it's another one, whether it's a private interaction or a public interaction. If you're with someone who's really negative or loud or boisterous, that might trigger you in public, but not so much in private. So think about how to boundary the reaction or the interaction ahead of time. Another thing you can do, this is one of my favorite things to do, is to think about it as a workshop where I go, okay, that's going to be an unpleasant experience that I have to go through. I have to be there, but I'm going to workshop something. I'm going to practice getting better at something that I want to get better at. I'm going to grow in some way. Maybe I'm going to practice acknowledging and validating. Just that's a skill I want to have in my relationships, and I always want to keep getting better at it. Maybe I'm going to practice my active listening. Maybe I'm going to practice body language. I don't know, pick whatever you want. But then it's not just a waste of my time. It's not just something that's going to suck my energy. It's actually something I'm excited about. I'm challenging myself to practice something, to workshop something. Those are things you can think about before you have this interaction with this person. Now, you're in it, and predictably, they're going to show up the way they always show up. What are things you can do when you're in that moment? Here are some ideas. Number one, breathe. If you find yourself getting triggered, focus on your breath. It's okay to tune out a little bit. They're usually just talking. I mean, people who suck our energy I mean, they're so focused on their own experience that they're not even really always noticing if we have to tune out for a second to just breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Put your feet on the ground. Take care of yourself in a physical way. Another thing you can do is check in with your emotions. Just get curious. Just do a little data collection where you notice when you get triggered, what is the feeling? Are you feeling angry, frustrated, sad, jealous? What is the thing that you're feeling? Name the emotion. That's just how you develop emotional intelligence. It's paying attention to how you feel. And if this person sucks your energy, then you're probably going to have some triggers, which is going to be some good work. The last thing you can do is, well, there's many things you can do, but the last thing we're going to talk about today is what I call putting a pin in it. As you're having this interaction with them, you're going to notice things. You're going to notice things they say that trigger you, topics that trigger you, things that trigger them, patterns that are happening. Just put a pin in it. Just think to yourself, I'm going to revisit that later. I'm going to think about that later. I'm going to not rabbit hole right now about it, but I do want to come back to it. I want to circle around. So put a pin in it. Okay, now the interaction's over. It's afterwards. Your energy has been drained. What are things that you can do to help yourself in that moment? One thing you can do is journal. And journal about whatever is important to you. I just with the client was talking about how after an energy suck, maybe it's a good time to journal what you would have liked to have said. Because like I said, they don't make space for you in that. And this could be somebody who is going to come around out of this season in their life, but here's where they are right now. They're stuck to this experience and they're not making space for you in the relationship currently. It might be that situation. It's okay. But what would you have liked to have said in response? What would you have liked to have shared? What opinion did you hold back on? Write that down in a journal so it feels like your voice is heard somewhere. Acknowledge yourself. You're going to have to give yourself space for that. You can journal about what you noticed. What did you put a pin in? What did you want to come back and reprocess with yourself? You can journal ideas you have for next time you're going to be in an interaction with them. What do you want to change anything? What worked? What didn't? So journaling is a way you can work on bringing your energy back up. And then what are the things that make you feel energized? Have a little list in your mind. It could be an imaginary list that make you feel better after you've had your energy sucked. It could be anything. Take a nap, take a walk, have a snack, drink some water. What will make you feel better and go do something for you that will help you reestablish the energy you had before you started that interaction? And the last tip I have is to immediately text, call, email, contact someone in your life that you have an amazing connection with, that will respond to you, who is currently making space for you in the relationship, that just feeds your energy in the best way. As a reminder that this one relationship isn't all your relationships. You're not like, it's not doomsday. It's one person that you're interacting with, but you have all of these other examples of good, healthy, connected relationships. So these are some tips that you can use if you have someone in your life who tends to suck your energy. You walk away every time going, oh my God, I can't do that again. But you still want to be in a relationship with them. You need some strategy. So 3 to do before, 3 to do during, 3 to do after. And I talked about naming your emotions. Make sure that you grab a feel wheel at the link I'm going to leave. Because if you don't have a lot of experience naming the subtle differences in your emotions, that's a really great way to increase your emotional intelligence. Okay, good luck with those energy vampires. Take good care of yourself. I'll see you next time.